Hello everyone! Welcome back to K-Beauty Manufacturing Guide. First of all, thank you so much for being patient with me and coming back to new episode. I know it's been a while since episode 2 and I'm very excited to continue this series and I'm very sure I can share lots of information. In our previous episode, we talked about the lead time and why planning ahead is essential for keeping your product in schedule, project in schedule. Today, we will walk through one of the most important stages in cosmetic manufacturing. Yes, sample development. We will explore how a formula is developed and how effective communication can lead to a better product. And let's get started. Sample development is the process of turning your product idea into a product that's ready for production. It's not just about making one sample. A series of decision, testing, feedback, and improvement that gradually transform an idea into a finished product. To make that happen, there are several key steps involved. Step 1, creating a detailed product brief, which I always emphasize on to you. And step 2, formula development, which can be sample development. Step 3, sample evaluation and feedback. And step 4, finalizing the formula. Each of these steps plays an important role in developing a successful product. And in today's video, we will walk through each steps in detail, explain why it matters, and share very practical tips that can help you to avoid common mistakes during sample development process. In the end, we will also show you how we with WITH.C Korea manage sample development together with our clients, so be sure to stay until the end. Step 1. Understand your product vision. The first step is creating a clear and detailed product brief. We've talked about the importance of product brief in previous episodes, but it's worth mentioning again. Every successful product starts with a clear product brief. Think of your product brief as blueprint for your product. The more clearly you define your product at the beginning, the easier it becomes to keep the development process moving in the right direction. Let me show you the example of product brief in here. A good product brief should include your product concept, target consumer, target market, expected texture, key ingredients, fragrance preferences, packaging direction, price, and any other important requirements. Basically, whatever is written in here are all very important. However, creating a product brief isn't just about product development. Here is my tips I want to give to you. It should also include a clear marketing perspective if you have already, and you should have already. One thing we've noticed from working on many projects is that products are rarely delayed actually not because of the formulation alone. Trust me, more often the product direction changed during development because key marketing decisions weren't clearly defined at the beginning. What could be marketing decision? It's basically related everything what we have to fit in the product brief. Let me give you a short example. Let's say the brand wants to deliver deep hydrating moisturizer, then while they're collecting the feedback and evaluating, then they start to think about, okay, maybe hyaluronic acid could be two common ingredients. What kind of other ingredients we can start to add to make it competitive on the market? Those decisions should be defined at the product brief stage because in the end, if we start to add new ingredients, then it will impact on the price and the formulation also, then it become a new project. Let me give you Let me give you another example how the formulation direction can be changed depends on your marketing plan. Let's talk about fragrance. Suppose you want your product to have a subtle scent. Then the question isn't just simply which fragrance shall we use. It should be more like what kind of brand experience you want to create and deliver to the user. Let's say if your marketing direction focuses on clean beauty for a sensitive skin type, in that case, maybe a fragrance free formula may be the right choice. But if your brand emphasizes botanical ingredients and you already added some botanical extract line as well, and you want to deliver some natural experience, in this case, adding essential oil might be a better support that story, and it can also provide very botanical scent as well. But if your positioning is more luxury skincare, you want to deliver luxury premium line and your packaging also having a very luxury vibe with lots of golden stamping or decoration, then it might be better to go with carefully selected fragrance that could be providing premium experience that you are looking for. As you can see from the example, a product brief influenced not only the product itself, but also its marketing points and even the overall brand image. So the more detailed your product brief is the better. Step 2. Formula development. Once your product brief has been finalized, the next step is formula development. The first sample usually takes around 3 to 4 weeks. At this stage, focuses on selecting the right ingredients and establishing the overall directions the formula. During the first sampling stage, the goal isn't to perfect every detail. Instead, the priority is to establish the right texture, skin feel, and overall product experience. We usually recommend to select the reference product with the texture and user experience they want to achieve. The first sample is then developed with the overall direction while also reflecting the product concept and key ingredients defined in the product brief. Again, the goal of the first sample isn't to create the perfect formula. It's to confirm that the product is moving in the right direction before refining the details. Once the direction has been established, the next step is to evaluate the sample and decide what should be improved. Let's take a look at that process next. Step 3. Sample evaluation and feedback. Once you receive the sample, the next step is sample evaluation and feedback. The question is how you're going to evaluate your sample. Here's my tip. I recommend you to prepare evaluation format or checklist while you are testing the sample. This allows every sample to be evaluated using the same criteria, making your feedback more objective, consistent, and easier to compare. The more specific your feedback is, the easier it becomes to determine the direction of the next sample. For example, instead of saying the texture doesn't feel good, I don't like it, but try to explain why. You might say, the product feels slightly dry after application. It doesn't last for a long time, but I like the viscosity and I like the texture. The spreadability also very nice. So I would like to keep those parts, but would like to improve the longer moisturization time. Those clear feedback like this provides a much clearer direction for the next stage of sampling. Another tip is if you have a reference product or target product, you can also compare the feedback based on this. Compare the target products. I feel dryness faster than these products. A reference product often communicates your expectation more clearly than words alone. Remember, the goal isn't simply to identify what's wrong with this sample, but the goal is to evaluate whether the product is moving closer to the vision defined in your original product brief. Step 4. Finalizing the sample. After your evaluation, once your feedback has been reflected on your formula, and after a few times of iteration, if that is required, and then you're satisfied with the formula, then it's time to finalize the sample. Then the next stage is CT test, is compatibility testing. CT is the process of confirming that the formula and the packaging work well together before production begins. This includes verifying that the formula dispensed properly and the targeted filling volume can be achieved consistently. Packaging protects the formula during accelerated stability testing, such as high and low temperature conditions, and that it is durable enough for transportation and shipping, etc. However, one important point is that packaging shouldn't be considered only at the city stage. For example, let's say you are developing a bubble toner. Unlike a regular toner, a bubble toner requires not only the right formula to create the foam, but also specialized foaming pump package that can generate the pump. Both formula and the packaging work together to create the final user experience. A toner can range from a very watery lightweight liquid to a slightly more viscous essence-like texture. But to create the rich, dense, and stable foam, the formula usually needs a little more body than a typical watery toner. If the packaging isn't discussed during the product brief stage, you may naturally focus on developing a standard watery toner. Later on, once the bubble pump is selected, you may find that the foam quality doesn't meet your expectation. At that point, you will have to either reformulate the product to suit the pump or choose a different packaging that works with the existing formula, both of which add extra time and unnecessary revision. So why I recommend to consider the formula and packaging together from the very beginning. We will talk more about packaging and compatibility tests in the next episode. At WITH.C Korea, we work as your product team based in Korea throughout entire sample development process. Here's step 1, understanding your product vision. We help organize your idea into a clear and detailed product brief. We also bridge the communication gap between Korean and English, as well as between brand language and product development terminology. By aligning your product concept and development direction before sampling begins, we help create a stronger foundation for the entire project. Step 2. Supporting efficient sample evaluation. Before every sample is shipped, we review it internally to make sure it reflects the intended development direction. Each sample is shared together with a sample brief along with photos, video, ingredient list, texture, formulation details, and etc. So you can clearly understand how sample has been developed more efficiently. Clearer communication leads to clearer feedback and ultimately a more efficient development process. Step 3. Keeping the project moving forward. Now, what you're seeing on the screen is a simplified roadmap of key steps involved in launching a single cosmetic product. As you can see in here, bringing just one product to market involve around 15 key development nodes and 5 major milestones. This is a simplified roadmap. In reality, depending on the product and its requirements, there may be even more steps involved. Each step, each stage depends on previous one, and even a small delay or miscommunication can affect the overall project timeline. By taking care of the product side, we, with Korea, enable your team to focus on what matters most, such as building your brands, marketing your products, growing sales, and expanding your business. Even if you don't have in-house product team, we are here to support you as your product team in Korea. Today, we cover the entire sample development process from creating a product brief to finalizing your sample. I hope this episode has given you a clearer and understanding of how to make a process more efficient and achieve better results. In the next episode, we will cover packaging basics and explain why packaging should be considered from the very beginning of product development. So don't miss it. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next episode.